Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. So I want to do this video for a long time, but I was busy with another project. I was working on Figma. As promised, I'm going to show you how I create this beautiful aero animate background using Gemini 3.1 Pro just by drag and drop some images and remix with some skill and iterate until I got the result that I want. And I'm not going to write any long prompt or coding myself. So let's get into it. It's look very complicated and hard to create, but honestly, it's super easy. All you need is good inspiration. Try finding a section with interesting pattern or complex visual that are usually difficult to build with code. You can even use GPT Images 2.0 to generate different variation and idea too. For example, I can go on X and search for inspiration. Let's take this arrow section from Wondermelon Studio. I really love his design. You should definitely check them out. I use their work a lot for inspiration. So trying to find arrow section with this kind of pattern. Then I go to ChatGPT. Of course, if you are subscribed. Honestly, I'm subscribed to almost everything. I really need to be careful with my spending, but ChatGPT is a must for me because I don't only use it for work. I also use it for my personal stuff every day. And then you can simply ask it to create new variation of the arrow section, and that's it. Also, if you don't want to create a new variation and prefer using the original design as inspiration, make sure the final result is completely different so the original designer won't complain after. And that means changing the text, brand, color, layout, and overall direction. So user inspiration has a starting point, not something to copy. Here are the images I generate with GPT Images 2.0. So if you cannot find good inspiration, you can generate your own arrow section with cool pattern like this. So the main tool I use is Neuform.ai. But if you already have access to AI Studio, you can do this directly there too. Or any platform that supports Gemini 3.1 Pro. You can even try with Claude. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what tool you use. Important thing is the result. The way it's work is super simple. You just drag and drop your image into the chat and put. So the prompt I usually use when I'm working with my old images is create a UI exactly like the image reference. Add animate detail and WebGL animation. And this part is very important. The key to make the animation work is to mention animate, detail, and WebGL animation and the prompt. Then you just drag and drop your images into the chat. And for images that I use from other, my prompt will be different because I don't want to copy the same content. The prompt I usually use is something like change text, name, number, keep the UIs similar to the reference. Also mention add animate detail and WebGL animation. If you don't want to copy the same color, you can also mention to change the color. So don't forget these two important elements to mention in your prompt: animate, detail, and WebGL animation. So I'm going to start with my images that I create with images 2.0. For the first prompt, I don't add any skill right now because I want it to reproduce the design first. But one skill I like to add, and that usually doesn't affect the design itself, it mask review for text. Don't expect every image to look perfect. Some image can fail, some other can get a very nice surprise. So right now you can generate 6 images at a time. So I went a little crazy just by dragging and dropping images. But honestly, I recommend focusing on only one image that has the best potential. So now I'm going to use images from other designers. So for this one, I'm using an image from Wondermelon Studio, the one I show you at the beginning of the video. Okay, so I'm still dragging and dropping a lot of images. So it's a bit messy. So the first step is very to drag and drop your image and then enter your prompt and then wait for it to generate. But in my case, I just went too much crazy right now. Okay, so while it's generating, I invite you to explore the community. There are some very cool animation there and are not made by me. So when I like one, I either download the design.md or I save it as skill or I remix it. If you want to use someone else's component, you need to remix it first so it becomes yours. Otherwise, you can only save the design system. So for the skill, they will automatically be saved in your private library. So when you want to prompt again, you can click on prompt, then go to private and you will find everything there. Okay, so let's go back and take a look. Right now, it's a little confusing because I drag and drop multiple image, but not at the same time. So I'm going to choose only the one that have the best potential so I can focus on those. So otherwise, you might get lost watching me work on too many components at the same time. Okay, so this one you can see it's completely different from the original. Maybe the structure and color are still a bit similar, but those are easy to change. And after that, I continue refining to polish it even more, like changing the color, improve the animation. I can also use skill or take another design system from another component to improve the final result even more. What I like to do is avoid making everything messy. It's hide the old component or the one I don't like because the way it's work is every time you generate or remake something, create another version. It does the work inside the same component. Okay, so this one look too similar to the original. So I should at least change the color. Also, the background is not moving, so I need to add animate it. Okay, this one is already much better. It looked completely different from the original, and I barely did anything to create it. I just need one image and a favorite prompt. That's it. Let's check the other one. So this one I is also completely different from the original. After that, I can go to design mode and change the typography and color too. But for now, I'm just going to leave the color like this. Let's look at the images that I create. Oh, and this one, I really love this. So I'm going to focus on it. So I'm going to add physics using Matter.js. Basically, physics is the element that can move in a more realistic way, like they have weight, gravity, and collision. And this one is surprising good. Maybe it doesn't look exactly like the original, but like I told you, sometimes some images fail and sometimes you get a nice surprise. It's missing some text and the heading, but I don't want to waste too much time fixing everything right now. So let's focus on the good one. This is very good. I really love this result and I can even go further by adding interaction. For example, I can make the cube draggable so user can move them around with their mouse. So now I will quickly show you my workflow. When I create an arrow section here and I want to build the rest of the landing page, for example, I can take this one, download the design.md and the HTML, then bring everything into aura.build. You can use any tool you want, but personally, I'm subscribed to Aura and Figma. So those are the two tools I use the most. And I simply ask it to create a arrow section and the rest of the page. You can also mention which section you want, like feature, pricing, etc. And that's it. And of course, you still need to refine everything after, but this gives you a very strong starting point. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you like and enjoy it. See you in another video. Bye.